Grab your fabric scraps and some simple cotton clothesline. Today we're turning them into fabric baskets. Welcome back to the channel, or if you're new here, welcome. I'm Jackie and I love to use scrap fabric to make scrap fabric quilt blocks, quilt as you go blocks, and other fun projects just using scrap fabric. Today we're making my rope baskets. I'm going to share with you my preferred method of making them and just how easy they are to make. You're going to love this. This project is extra special because it's a request from my daughter. She wants me to make 5 of them. I have a video on how I make these using denim, but I thought I'll just turn on the camera and take you guys along as I make these with some scrap fabric. For this one, the base was 4 inches. And I just have a template that I cut out. It's a circle that's 4 inches. And that's how I make the base. But for my daughter, I'm going to use a base of 5 inches. What's fun is you could make other shapes as well. You can make an oval one, and that would be really handy, like for small scissors, for threads that you use a lot. This one I didn't, but I will be quilting the base, and you could just use diagonals. You could use a fun decorative stitch. So fun. You could just make them your own. Here I did add some fabric strips just to add a little texture. I will guide you step by step through the process. And remember, as always, no rules, no perfection. I'm going to bring you down to the table to show you everything you're going to need. Let's go over the materials you're going to need for the project. First, just grab some scrap fabric. I just grabbed this from my pile. And some coordinating thread. I went ahead and made a bobbin for it. This is like a light pink. I thought that was really pretty. And I did that for each of the fabric bowls that I'm going to make. That one's really pretty too. So I have 5 fabrics laid out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually 6. If I have enough time, I want to show you how to make the oval one. Next, you're going to need some clothesline. I'll show you a picture of what I'm using. I get this at Walmart, and it comes on a roll like this. And I'll try to link that in the product list below. It is 3/16 inch diameter. I like this because my sewing machine likes it. I have used others that my sewing machine did not like, and this one seems to work just fine. Then I cut out 360 inches. Yes, 360 inches of the rope, and I just made a ball like this because I want everything the same size. I'm using for my base, this base here, because I do not make a coil and go around and around and around. I just make a base. And this is Pellon Peltex 72F. It is a double-sided fusible ultra firm stabilizer. And I have a bunch of this because back in the day I would make fabric postcards. So we'll use this to sandwich the 2 fabrics together, and that will be our base. You'll need a few pins, your scissors, and for my base I do use my picking shears to go around the outside. A template for your 5-inch circle, your iron, and sewing machine and thread. We talked about the thread. Just make sure you have a matching bobbin if you want the thread to match on the inside and the outside, because everything will be seen. I am going to set you up beside the sewing machine so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Actually, I need to keep you here for a minute because I want to show you how I make the base. It's simply 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to trace around my 5 inches, and I need a piece of my Pellon. So I just cut a piece of the pellon. I'm going to cut out some fabric so that I have enough for 5 inches all the way around. And I need 2 pieces. And you could get creative and use a quilt block here. How fun would that be? Make these your own and have fun with it. Put that to the side. Now I have my 2 pieces of fabric. We'll put the Peltex in there. I'm going to take this to the iron, and I need to iron on each side. The instructions come with it, and it tells you what to do. You'll baste by using a hot iron with a gliding motion and slight pressure. You're going to iron the Peltex 72F to the fabric. You turn the sandwich over and repeat the same procedure. And it does say you can use pens, but I'm not going to use the pens. Then you cover with a damp press cloth with a hot iron at the wool setting. Fuse into place by pressing firmly for 10 seconds per area, overlapping slightly each time. Again, turn over the sandwich and repeat. Remove the press cloth and iron fabric to eliminate any excess moisture. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really pretty easy. So I'm going to go to the iron and iron these together, and I'll be right back. I'm back from pressing. Now I'm ready to lay my template on, and because I didn't cut straight, I just want to make sure that I have Peltex and fabric all the way around, and I do. I'm just going to take my marking pen, and this is a heat eraser marking pen, and I'm just going to trace around. Kind of hard to see, but there is a circle on there. This is where I'm going to take my pinking shears and go right in there and cut around the circle. So easy. And I'm just going to go and give that a real quick press again, just to be sure. Our base is done. I'll get you over to the sewing machine. Just a couple things while we're at the sewing machine before we get started. I do have a couple pieces of fabric here for accents if you want to add those. And here is our base. I have my ball of rope. I did change out my needle to have a jean needle. This is for jeans. It's 100/16. This is just a heavy duty needle so that it'll go through everything. I have my open toe foot on so that I can see that I'm catching both sides of the fabric to the rope and the rope to each other. And I like this because it has a center mark. Hopefully you can see that. But I like that because I can actually see what I'm doing here. Then what I need to do is switch out my bobbin and my top thread. The first thing I want to do, let me grab my scissors. The first thing I'm going to do is take the end of the rope, and you can pull out the core a little bit. It's kind of tricky, but not. There we go. You see how easy once you get a hold of it. And then I'm just going to snip that core. It's just less bulk to get started. And then I'll just pull it up. And then I'm going to trim. And the rope I always have sitting in my lap. And then I'm just going to pin this with one pin right in the center. Just like that. I'm using a zigzag stitch with a 5 width, and 2.0 length. Let me see if I can swing you here so that you can see that. All right, let's go back here. And I just want to get the center of my foot right there, right on my fabric. And that should catch both my rope and my fabric. And we're going to go around one time before we start making the sides of the bowl. Let's get started here. And your first couple stitches, you just want to take it easy, and you can take it easy too as you go along, okay? No rush. Needle down. And I'm just making sure I catch the fabric and the rope. Just take her nice and slow. After a while, you'll be going really fast on these. And I'm pressing against the fabric with the rope, but not too much. And if you need to, you can use your tool. An awl will work to hold on to that rope while you're going around. These make great gifts, and they're great projects so that you can organize your sewing room, because you can put clips in them and all kinds of fun stuff. The first row is the most challenging because you're making sure you get it attached to that fabric. And you tend to be more focused on getting that right. Now, before I come up to this next part, here's where I am going to squish my rope with the end of this, the first part. Take off that. And I'm just going to squish that in there and put a pin in it. There we go. That together. Now, as you come up to this crossroads, as I call it, you just want to catch this side with the rope. Push those together. I do a back stitch here. And then I can take my pin out and I can raise the bowl so that I can start building the sides. Oops. And I just hold my finger there and kind of guide the bowl, just making sure I catch both sides. Just like that. That's how easy it is. You can put on your favorite podcast or YouTube channel and just sew. Now, speaking of favorite YouTube channels, I'd like to give a special shout out to a very special sewing channel that truly brightens my day. The name of the channel is Making a Seam by Lynne. Lynne just published a video where she upcycled old jeans into the cutest Christmas stockings. They are adorable. But she has a channel full of projects, and they're all heartfelt creations. And she is just so kind. You have got to go check out her channel. I'll have a link in the description box below. Go say hello. Make sure you subscribe and let Lynne know that I sent you. And be sure to check out her videos and show her some love. All right, we're just going to continue sewing here. And like I said, after a while, you'll probably increase your speed, but you just take your time if you need to. I am going to stop here and keep going. When I get ready to add some fabric, I'll be right back. I think I'm going to add a little fabric here, and all I do is I lay it. So here's the corner, and here, and then it's kind of like a diagonal. So you just go from here to here, right on the rope. And then all I do is I bring it over and I just put a pin right in there. Don't poke yourself. And then when I get closer, I'll start rolling it. I'm just going to put the pin into that rope. Then I can, actually I'll take that pin out and I'm just going to try to catch that fabric. And then I will raise my foot because I do have my presser foot down. I have my needle down, sorry. I'm just going to wrap that around. Just like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. That looks good, and just wrap it all the way around. Just like that. Just get it the best you can. It's okay. All right, and then we're just gonna put the presser foot back down and continue sewing. And then you have a little accent. And now I will just put a pin in right here to catch that little flap. And if you need to, when we come back around, and if that little fabric piece is sticking up, you can just cut it off, okay? And then you're just back at it. And see how tall it's getting? And it just goes so fast. And here's that little flap of fabric. We're not going to worry about it. We'll just squish this together, and that zigzag should just, yep, it'll take care of it. It's perfectly fine. And just continue on. Just like that. So easy, right? I have not tried other rope. I've just always used the Walmart. So feel free to try out other brands out there, maybe different thicknesses. And I think once I get down here, on this side, I'm going to add a little more fabric. I think I'll go around 2 more times and then add a little more fabric. Now you could wrap the whole thing in fabric if you wanted, but I think that would be too putsy for me. I kind of like the little pops of color. Yeah, I think I'll go around 1 more time before I add fabric. Let's add another piece of fabric. Again, don't even worry about it. Just twirl it around the best you can. Use that one pin. And don't poke yourself. And then we're just going to wrap around. And that will just be a little accent. It just adds that something extra, right? Okay, and I'm just gonna hold on to this. And then I will put that pin right in here. And I'm holding on to the end of it. You could glue it down if you'd like. That would work too. Whatever makes it easier for you. Pull the pin. And I may have missed a spot, so I am going to go back. Let me clip the end here so I can go back. There we go. And if you think you missed a spot, it's okay to go back. Okay. And we will just continue on. Making sure that we're catching all the spots. I'll get my clip out of there before it gets clipped by the sewing machine. And I can see that the fabric popped out there, but we'll catch it on the other side. See how fast it goes after a while? Let me grab my thread off of there. Get all the threads you can. We're getting to the end, and what I do is I just snip the end there, and then I just fold it. I just fold it like this. Hopefully you can see that. Just over on itself, maybe 1.5 inches. And then I'm putting the raw edge against there, against this rope. And then I'll grab my one pen and just pin that in there the best you can. There we go. And then I'm going to press everything together, and then that will be the end of it. Of course, you can finish these however you like. You can put handles on them, but we try not to get too fancy here. Okay. I do want to do a back stitch here so I can catch this. I can take this out now. Put the presser foot down. Okay, and then bring this back because I really want that hook hooked onto here. Okay, and then back stitch again. And there you have it. How darling is that? And there's the bottom. This is so darling. And if there's anywhere where you think you want some reinforcement, you can do that. And I love the little accents here. Let me get my measuring tape to see how much what our diameter is for this. All right, we did start with a 5-inch base, so we know that. We used 330 inches of rope, the 3/16 inch rope, and then at the top it's 8 inches. And then it goes up about 3 inches. So that is the perfect gift basket. There's the inside. How cute is that? Well, guys, I did not get them all done tonight, but this is the one that we made, and I think it's so adorable. What do you think? And then here's this one and the bottom. So cute. And then I wanted to show you what the oval one turned out to be. This is 7x4. It's oval. How cute is that? And here's the bottom. Kind of looks like a bread basket, right? So cute. And I love the fabric on the bottom. This one I did quilt, but then I really like the look of it unquilted. What do you guys think? And then here's the fabric accents. I really like these. So we got 3 done. This was a bonus one, and I have 3 more to go. And I'll work on those after I upload the video. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a Bible verse and a final thought to encourage you. Our Bible verse is from Isaiah 53, verse 5. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement for our peace was upon him. And by his stripes we are healed. When I think about this verse, I'm reminded of the wholeness and healing that Christ gives us. Just as scraps of fabric can be stitched into something beautiful and strong, God takes the broken places in our lives and weaves them into his story of restoration. As you sow today, let it remind you of the peace and healing he has already provided. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you for commenting, your kind words, your sharing, liking, and subscribing. I sure do appreciate it so much, more than I can even tell you. Thank you for the support of my Gumroad shop. I really appreciate that. It truly means the world to me. And until the next video, God bless you.